Jeff Beck passed away. The celebrated guitarist who played with the Yardbirds and led the Jeff Beck group. He died on January 10th at age 78. Benny, kind of same thing here. How would you remember Jeff Beck?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that, you know, I hate to like AB these guys just because they happen to die around the same time, but he was part of a very separate musical movement, but the very, very, very early part of it that was wildly and massively influential. I mean, this crew of people who came out of the Yardbirds, you know, and that era at the time. I mean, we're talking about Eric Clapton and Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page, and you can all like, you know what those people separately went on to do musically, and this is like the core of it was these people meeting, playing guitar together, becoming obsessed with American Black blues, essentially stealing it and doing their own version and turning it into this and making it, you know, accessible to the masses and stuff like that. And the Yardbirds are one of the bigger examples of that. But then Jeff Beck's career went quite a different way because, as David Crosby, I think, you know, led a life of songwriting, essentially, you know, where you're just always trying to craft these like perfect songs. Jeff Beck, I think, turned into more of like a guitar virtuoso, you know. And if you hear stories about him, he might have been destined for that. You know, some people don't do so well in a band. You know, some people don't have that kind of makeup and don't play nice and have too certain of an idea of what they want to do to be able to do it. And, you know, from the 70s on, Jeff Beck just went ahead and like was making his records with his people the way he wanted to do it. And for the most part, like shied away from the limelight and didn't really, you know, play that part of the game. And I think musically, as far as like the physical playing of the instrument, the speed, the technique, the different ways to incorporate different sounds and things, like Jeff Beck is up there, you know, among the all-time greats of rock guitarists, and it's pretty undeniable. And you know, he did so much fun stuff too. Like even the other night, sitting around watching the movie Twins, you know, and wait, we're like, who's playing in this bar scene where Arnold's about to like beat up 4 people? And if it isn't Jeff Beck, you know, playing with a singer, Nicolette Larson, and then you know, he played the main solo on Blaze of Glory for Bon Jovi, you know, becoming the Young Guns 2 thing, you know, Days of Thunder, like all this weird stuff. Jeff Beck just always like popped up on people's tracks. He was on Kelly Clarkson tracks. He was on BB King, you know, like Morrissey, just years later, like always popping up on stuff. Sadly, popping up with Johnny Depp towards the end, but you know, we won't hold that against him.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, another one. I mean, these are two. As far as the thing I do, you know, like playing rock music and being in a rock band, these are two of the biggest icons there are, you know.
One of my favorite things when doing all of this Jeff Beck research is that he had his hands insured for close to $8 million and his thumbs. So his fingers and thumbs were famously insured for that
Don't
much.
forget the whammy bar.
That's right. You're right. Yeah. You got to keep that. How do you know anybody that's ever done that?
Not personally, no, but I've heard about a lot of people who do it, and whatever, fuck it, it's smart, you know. Like imagine the amount of money like Bruce Springsteen loses if he breaks his wrist and has to rehab for a year and a half. Like, you know, the kind of shit people insure out there. Like, sure, it's fair.
Yeah,
I tried to insure one thing one time, which was my favorite drum set, and they told me since it leaves the house, it's not allowed to be insured.
Oh, wow.
And it was certainly not going to stay in the house. So
I guess that's what they told Chet Holmgren too. I guess that's why he couldn't get insured before.
Stop it!
I know. I'm sorry. Too soon.
Stop it! No, no Chet Smoke. Come on.
No, but super interesting to kind of see. You know, these like young athletes kind of go like that same way of like you can insure anything, I guess, as long as you're willing to pay or somebody's willing to pay for you. So super interesting.
I think so.
Yeah, but just last notes here. Jeff Beck, got 8-time Grammy winner, as we said, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, both as a solo artist and as a member of the Yardbirds. So just an incredible legacy, and both of these guys will be missed. You know, you're losing fundamental knowledge of rock and roll with these guys leaving the planet.
Yeah, 100%. These are people I both with both of these. I wish I could have called my mom to chat about it. You know,
Yeah,
would have given me tons of info.
yeah.